Coulda when me want to come out of your presence for. I mean, no one when your presence is the regular. It's motivation and memories with Ivory.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. This is Motivations and Memoirs. Welcome. There is a phrase that says, you never know how strong you are until being strong is the only option you have. Many persons out there really experienced their inner strength when they were at their lowest points. I can testify of same. This is the new season of our testimonies and our stories, so to speak. And it is entitled From Brokenness to Victory. You are joining part 2 of Crystal Buckley's testimony. Her testimony of surviving domestic violence. If you missed part 1, click in the description box and you will see the link to part 1, so you'll be able to catch up with us. So stay tuned, guys, as we join the testimony. And remember, nothing is impossible with God. And being down at the bottom does not mean that you have to stay at the bottom, but you can rise up out of any situation because God has made you strong. Stay tuned.
Even before, prior to getting locked up, like I said, I start work at the cash pot shop. Me I see different man, me I see different people, me out in the world now. I'm seeing things. Me start go a party till me even become a promoter now. I keep me I make my own name in the street now. So me no business know him no more. I had men I could pick, choose and refuse from. It was the truth. Could I, after that 1 year, I mean I like him, I said nobody call me back. Moving on to the next. You know? And I start to like now and again, like a couple months again I saw him, I'm like, I need a divorce. And 2, because I'd gone to the US embassy and every question them asked me about was about husband. Well, you live with a husband how long? Way more? And I'm like, I came, this was me though. I came to the embassy for me. And because I went and still being married.
Yeah.
Everything was about husband. So the minute I came out and I did not get through, I have this lawyer friend in Kingston. I dig down, I couldn't find his number, but I know he works somewhere downtown on Orange Street. And I walk the whole Orange Street to find the office. And I find it, I said to him, Mr. Samuels, I need a divorce. How do I go about it? And he started paperwork and he gave me the papers and all of that. I carry it back now to get him to sign it is the next thing. So there was an office in Mandeville. The lawyer office had a branch in Mandeville. And the papers were there. So I told the secretary I'm going to, because they told me if they have to find him, then I will have to pay another how much money when we already don't have. So I'm saying, no, I am going to ask him to come and sign those papers. When I told him I see him again, I said, listen, I need a divorce. And I need to go by X place and do it. I'm like, no, I want my wife back. I'm saying, which wife? You don't have no wife. You don't have no wife. Because how can you love somebody? You leave them, put them in a hospital, and all of that, you make them go to jail. You never come with a bottle of water or a piece of cardboard. I had this male friend that he brought the beds to me in jail, and the police them and laugh at them and say, one man put me in jail and the next man bring bed come give me.
Oh my God.
What wife? You don't have no wife on here. Which wife you talk about? You know? And it take him forever, every day left on him case. Can you go and sign the papers, please? Can you go and sign it? No go. So I said, all right, it was coming up close to his birthday. And I think I'm still and I said, how me can get him to sign the paper, you guys? So I called him the morning of his birthday and I wish him happy birthday and him. I said, what you do later? He said, nothing. You come spend the night with me. So yeah. In my head now, I said, Jesus Christ. First, me go and the man cut me throat. I said, but me need him to sign the paper, so if me go, and a little thing go on, you feel like I'm coming back. So I started telling him, look at thing when me see for true, and this was just a phase, and we'll get over this. I say, I come tonight? I say, yeah. I say, I want to go out for dinner first. I say, yeah, nothing too fancy. I want to spend the night with you. I'm like, okay. So he said, like, no, he would be finished work by 6. I said, all right. Just meet me. I'll wait for you by the gate. This is not what my mother gate. I think my mother was away this time. So I could have sneak out and go sleep out. So I said, all right, just pick me up out the gate. He said, fine. I'm dress up nice and we'll go. We went to Monday and he said, we're not dining, just buy the dinner, let's go. I said, you know, really? Remember, this is now when I start to get work. I'm saying, just want to go home, so just want to go home, so. But since me decide this time, say it would have been do or die because I need him to sign those papers. Need to get out of this. Even to, when I came out of jail, I had to gazette him and to put him in the papers to say, after today, anything this man incur on himself, I am not responsible because he's paying that amount of money plus other money for bus warrants we have plus getting a trouble with police, and it was just spending, and nothing now come back in. How much people warrant, who this, because every money that was coming in was going to paying for warrants, for bus and tickets and all of those things. So I said, do I die now? I want to get out of this. I need him to sign these papers. Anyway, we buy the Chinese and we went home. So home, he was still living at the same place. He start parent and start behave himself now. So when we went in, I said, oh, you buy a bed? He's like, no, sir. Then my mother made to take it from. Okay. No, he only had a bed and a like a settee thing in there and a little makeshift dresser. I'd be like, but yeah, you had this to my head. I'm saying you had your good life and you dash it all away. So anyway, I'm going and start all over me and I said, Jesus, me a tremble like a sinuses because we don't know what to expect. Eventually I ended up spending the night and he never do me nothing. And the morning he said, he has to go out for work early. Me say, yeah, because I want to go in early. No, I really want nobody knows me sleep out, I said, but you're a married woman, say, you're not stay here. I said, no, I have no clothes. Me I go home. Come back for me later. This is what I'm telling him. So he said, all right, I'm going to give me money now to buy breakfast and all of that. I'm taking money. And then I said to him, you're not going to sign the papers.
Lord of mercy.
Couldn't wait. I could not wait. So you know, say a big brawl start again. Oh, this is why you come. You general me, you come me, you tell me say you. I said no. I really came to talk to you because by this time, the truth is I never even know that I was coming to Cayman. I never see that in my 2020 vision. I mean, crystal glass and thing. And I said to him that my mother was trying to sort out something for me. And, in order to do that, me have to go, divorce. And tell him one bag of lie. And him believe me. Then give me the money to buy my breakfast and him drop me off. And then about 2 days, when he called me the evening and say he was working late, I said, that good man, because I stayed with my mother and whatever. Me never did I go. About 2 days later, I got a call from the lawyer's office, and the secretary was asking me to describe my husband.
Oh, Lord. Wow.
Him so and so and him so and so. She said, okay, he's here. So, Jesus, I said, please make a sign him, I go sign it. I guess I check to find out if papers did it for true. Anyway, he signed it that day, and he called me and he said, well, you get your wish now, I sign the papers. I said, all right, good. I said, but you know, say you my love, and in the event that I you my husband, I am married to. Because me, if I tell him all these things now, if he sees him, not come at me, because I know if he catch me at a spot, me dead. But he eventually signed it, and then he eventually probably realized that I wasn't coming back. I wasn't coming back. And but no, this was about 2016. Fast forward to 2019, like I said, on the party scene now, me I keep party and turn big promoter and all these things. The September 2019, my mother called me one day because my mother is in Cayman, and she said, I think I see a way for you to come Cayman. And I just said, yes, ma'am, yes, mommy. That way, because I don't know, promoter now. I keep party, we're not leaving that. Party was nice. So I said, yeah. But by this time, even though my passport was expired. And she told me, she knew my passport was expired. So she said, so sort out your passport because, you don't know when it will come through. I said, okay. It got through 1 year and come through next one. I'm still never doing nothing. The December, no, sorry, to 2018, sorry, not 2019. The December now, she texts me again and say, Chris, I see a way for you for coming up. And guess what? The people them want the first page of your passport.
Yes, sir. I move now.
They must say the passport expired. So I had this. So I said, okay, yeah, I'll send it. Me stress out now, because I don't know what to tell her. I said, Mommy, never did me nothing, because she that cost me now. Oh, me try to make life better for you. And I couldn't bother with that. So me just say, okay. So I had this friend that works at the passport office, and I call her quick and I say, say my passport expire, I need to do XYZ. And she say, yeah man, you can get a 1 day renewal. It costs XYZ amount. That cost me some money, yes, but I never had a choice. I had to do it. So pay the money, get the 1 day passport, and send the page. Send the page December, and by mid-January, there was a permit ready for me to come to Cayman. I came to Cayman January 30th, 2019. And even the week when I was leaving, I'm like, I am not going to Cayman to stay. I packed one suitcase, and it had mostly uniforms because now I was coming back into nursing to take care of an old lady. It had mostly uniforms because I said, me not go to Cayman, go stay, So, I try this out for 3 months and come back on my yard.
Test out the waters.
Test out the waters. The yearly party that I normally keep is always March. So when I got through to come to Cayman, we did halfway into promotion, long time. So I had to cancel that and all of that because I was leaving January.
Mm-hmm.
Come to Cayman, we start realize, say, Crystal, gotta try to get you one away to show you something. Try to tell you something. But you're in all of this noise in a party and you get to you. like sitting down right here, right now, it came so clear to me that this had to be God.
Mm-hmm.
Because anybody else we talk to or hear about them permit take months, 2 months, 3 months. Mine was within a week.
Wow.
The most.
A permit.
A permit, because I was to come look after an old lady. She had just amputated her leg.
Mm-hmm.
So I came January. In March, my mother had to go back to Jamaica to do a surgery. So now I'm coming into a strange place. Only know my mother here. I know she has left.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know nobody. I'm here all alone. This is basically starting over. And I said, God, how you could have do this to me? I'm from Jamaica, you bring me, don't know nobody. I don't know me way around, nothing. But guess what? I had to what we call in Jamaica, pull up my big girl panties.
Mm-hmm.
Decide, said, this will be it. And starting the job, everything was going good. Go on. Until I have this friends group from high school, from that 7 of us used to walk. We used to call ourselves 7 unit. Because it was every taxi that we take is a full load. So every taxi will always rush. Forget we first because them not to look at next load because all of we were going in one direction. There was one girl particularly like that. We weren't close. We haven't spoken over years. I left high school a long time ago. Don't ask me yet. We haven't been close over the years. And she said to me that like she got I don't know if it was like she got a word to say. She needed to go on a fasting and she needed to bring me. I said, bring me of all the people. Why come much 5 other friends in the group? Why me? But I am this type of person because like I say, I grew up in church and I believe in all of those things. So I just obeyed and I said, all right, no problem. Tell me when you're ready to start. No, this fasting was supposed to be just water for 7 days. Pumped and I wrote a list of things that I was going into the fasting for because from my understanding you're going on fasting, you're going fasting for something. And I needed a lot of things. I had a list. I had a list of material things. So day one, pumped up and yeah man, ready for this, have my water and thing and drink little hot water in the morning, that a tea. Gonna work, have my water, me go on to. Day two, I start to feel some type of way, but me I said, me I go on. Me I go on. Day three, sis, I couldn't go no further because I'm not used to this. And I'm going to work and I'm hungry. The water not suffice. So I said to her, sorry, in the night at about 7 o'clock, I said, sis, I have to eat something. I have to break this fast. But when I broke the fast on day three, I realized that something left my body. Something left me. I feel light. I feel thin. And it was then long after that I realized that it was all the hurt and the baggage and everything that I was carrying. Marky, like I said, I went into the fasting with a list of things. And for this, even when I broke the fasting on the night and I realized that I said, Jesus, look how the devil make me broke the fast and I could have probably get the things that were the dip and they just stay the 7 day. But that fasting wasn't for material things. That fasting was to start my healing process. That fasting was to take away all the hurt and the baggage and everything that I was carrying. Because like I said, me and this girl wasn't close. I needed to fix that relationship as well. I needed to get rid of all the baggages and the hurt and the pain and the stress and everything that I was carrying. I am this type of person that you cannot call me and say to me, Krista, I know you go through this, but do this. No. I want to do it my own way. I'm going to shut out the world and do it how I want to do it. And I realized that even to that was
Sorry, you couldn't do that.
I needed to be open. I needed to start getting in an environment where purpose was the center. And like myself from the 3 day fast, that was it. And from that fasting, sis, like the year after, me just decided to God, me go give you back my life, me go start serving.
Yeah.
I was in my room one day at my bedside. I'm gonna know everything of the past just start flashback. The jail, the marriage, the husband, the hurts, other hurts that I've been through, family, everything. And I just felt like giving up. Mark you. When I left my husband, I went into what we call in Jamaica a feeding store to buy grandma's own. Because I decided that the humiliation was a little bit too much for me.
Wow.
I am a humble family. Everybody know my great grandfather is a Christian, is a pastor. Everybody know my family and everybody. So I was from that humble humble family, humble community. Everybody know my mother was work at the pharmacy and my mother is a nurse. Everybody know me through my mother. Or because I was married to the boss man.
Mm-hmm.
And little bit too much for me, sis.
You
And
you felt overwhelmed, you felt ashamed, looked down on.
mhm, yeah. And worse because people told me, wait, even my mother, when I was getting married, the day I was getting married, my mother was pregnant, was big, stepping into her 9 months pregnant, or eight,
Mm-hmm.
somewhere there about. And she asked me to wait. And I said, why? Why wait? You know, I wanted to be married so bad that I ignore all those red flags and all them little things, not knowing. And mark it today, I am glad that I endured.
Mm-hmm.
Glad that I went through that because now I can tell you that all of that happened so that I could be here today to talk to another woman or
Mm-hmm.
to talk to other people to tell them, yes, I might not look like what I've been through, but I have been through it. And Marky, I don't even have physical scars to say that I went through what I said I went through.
Mm-hmm.
But people, and even to when I started the book and I started to come out on platforms, I'm like, God, you know, some bally, me, I wanted in here. How am I going to do this?
Mm-hmm.
You know? His response was, it's the tears that will bring people to you and make people know, say, you're coming from a place of a genuine place and a real something this, your experiences and you go through this. And when them see you cry, that will be it.
But tell me, so you went into the store to buy Grandma's own. Did you actually purchase it?
No, I was in the line and this guy how does this go now? So when I was going to high school or probably after, there was this lady that used to come in and help at my house with the washing and cleaning and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So she and my mother used to work first and then she used to come to our house and do all of that. So she has a grandson that it was long after that I even know that it was her grandson. So I knew him because of partying. He was a DJ. And I was in there and I felt the touch on my shoulder. And the person, what are you doing in here? Then to all my frightened and surprised, I don't know what to say. I lied and I said, oh, I come to check something out for my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
So I never even went to the cashier. And I said, okay, I'm good, a long time in the see and whatever. And after he spoke to me and him come out, I came out behind him. And I'm like,
Okay.
how come this person out of the blues just come? I went in there, he was not in there. So he had to see when I go in there and follow me.
Mm-hmm.
So that changed the plan altogether. I'm never gonna buy the grammar song, but I went to buy it because me did just decide to me and go home and I mean one. Because this time now, keeping the party, I'd moved out from my mother's and gone to live on my own because she told me, no, I don't like these others are coming to knock on my door night time where I come from party. So I save up all of my money and go look my own place.
Mm-hmm.
So I said when I go home in the quiet of my home tonight, just drink my grandma's one and just call it that. Whatever. I don't lose everything. This was how I was thinking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You understand? And two, I'm grateful for that guy because I eventually ended up dating him.
Mm-hmm.
For and through all of those stuff, he really helped me navigate certain things. And they have this saying that people come into your life for a reason and a season, and I totally believe that.
Right.
I believe that. And so, like I said, I can tell any woman, anybody going through any situation, it doesn't have to be domestic abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Hope and peace comes, but it starts with you.
Yeah.
It starts with you. You have to want this. It's because, of course, there were days when me dark up the room and I fought those battles silently. Because when I'm home, I'm a wreck. My pillow wet. My hair mud. But you see, the minute I have to get up and go to work or go anywhere, you never know what I'm coming out of. Because me, I get up
Wow.
and I'm going to show up. But at home, I am a wreck. Me depressed, me stress out, everything.
Mm-hmm.
But me get up and me show up and me come and me talk to you and me encourage you while my heart broken, my head hurt me. But that and that, like I said, it's all a process because I couldn't understand how could I be able to encourage somebody when I am going through so much.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody knew what I was going through because no being on the party scene, no, I meet different people. People never know someone married. I never know what I've gone through, and I could be able to talk to them from a place of I don't even know where I spoke to them from. If it was from my heart or just my mouth,
Mm-hmm.
but things and to date,
I think it was from your heart, knowing that you experience this, and as such, you're able to now say to somebody, "Hey."
even for different situations. People will be going through different things, and I'm just talking to them, and the things just coming out, and I'm saying to them,
Mm-hmm.
hold on, man. Something has to be at the end of it. You can't just go through and a struggle. So it's all a process. My friend would call it the pruning process.
Yeah, yeah.
And God had to take me from Jamaica, take me out of the party, and take me out of the noise, bring me come a Cayman by myself for me to realize that.
Mm-hmm. In terms of moving from that stage now to sit down and write a book, how did that come about? You're telling everybody you're hurting, you bawl yourself to sleep, but you're still able to get up, dress up, and sit down and write a book. How did you navigate to that part?
Even when I came to Cayman, that was still the silent part of me. I never spoke about um even not with like not even to my mother, and my mother and I are close, not even to my sisters, my friends, nobody. I mean, they knew that I went through this, and they knew that Mark you back to the divorce. I did not. The divorce was not finalized until I came to Cayman. Because
Mm.
one, I didn't have. Well, I was using my money for other things and not for the divorce. So when I came to Cayman, now I got an email from the lawyer to say, remember, this is still open. You need to pay for this. I'm like, oh, that is still a key. So I called the husband and I say, okay, since I lobbied for the divorce, I'll pay 70% and you pay 30. At first he said, okay. Couple months when I hear nothing from him, all of that. Call him back again. Him say, no, are you want man? Are you want to do this? Are you want to do that? So spend your own money and call me back. And that was when I said, okay. So the first 6 months I work in Cayman, all of the money we did have, we save up and decide that we set a date. And I went back to Jamaica, pay for the divorce, and finalize it. I just had the divorce in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So it been to Cayman and never spoke about that. I mean, people knew that I went through that, but that was it. Nobody asked me no question, and that was it. I was at work one day, and I just heard a voice say, right. And I'm like, right, what? You know? And again, it's like, you have a story. And I just pick up a pen and piece of paper, sis, and I started to write. And it was not this, the book from Broken to Redeem
Mm-hmm.
has 16 chapters. And I did not know what I was writing about until about chapter 8 or 9. I was just writing and writing. When the ideas came, sometimes I said, but that no correspond with where I stopped writing, and that no this, and then I had to put in this, and I had to do this, and
Mm-hmm.
and this roughly 4 months because the things they were coming. And then when I realized what this book was about, so this book is about a lady that got married but was abused financially, emotionally, physically by her husband.
Mm-hmm.
But he got locked up and she decided to move away because of everything that was happening, humiliation, everything. She went to stay with her parents. When she went to stay with her parents, everything started to blossom for her. She got the job that she wanted. She started helping young women who were going through similar situations like she was. and that was all built on her hope. So this book is really about the fact that there is hope after any situation that you've gone through. Trust me, the dark days will come, and the times will come when you'll question it. Why me? Why did I have to go through this? Why life hard so for me? I see a lot of young people around me succeeding and them not to work so hard and them not to go through this. Those days will come. But the minute you got into your situation and say, God, me give this to you, come, I can't do it no more. Take it from me. Take over the situation. Trust me, everything will be copacetic. Like I said, people's other women's situation are worse than mine because even today, some woman don't live to tell the story that I am today. And I believe that the minute that you live through it, whether you get the big cut in your face or you have one foot or you don't have none at all, it is reason enough to share your story, talk about it, and move on. You can still be Victor. Look, I came back. I left my job as a nurse from Montego Bay days in Jamaica. And my comeback, my second chance was a nursing job in Cayman.
Right.
I've garnered a phlebotomist on top of that. I've done Bible school. I stopped midway, but I still completed levels 1 and 2.
Right.
I'm now onto a guidance and counseling course. There is I've wrote the book. You know, and so I'm saying there is hope.
There is.
It will kill you. It's not a life sentence. You go through it for a reason. You went through it for a reason. Correction. And I am not going to be silent. One time, since me couldn't sit down here and tell you all of this without me being in the tears. But the more that I speak, and the more that I'm in the company of people who have gone through similar. I've heard stories of rape, I've heard stories of molestation, I've heard stories of me say, how them survive? And they're asking me the same question. How you survive them lick there? How you get them head lick there and then bust blood vessel and you're still alive? And you look so when I talk to people, if I don't tell people that I've been through this, they'll never know.
Don't know, right.
But I want them to know because this is my testimony. And 2, it is my ministry because if I have one person, my aim is to help one woman.
Right.
And I realize that we need to start being each other's keepers. Check on your strong friend them, your friend them where you think they have it together. Check on them because you never know what they're going through.
Oh, yes.
Them come and them smile with you. Check on them. You never know what they're going through. Because like I said, I could be a whole different person by night. A whole different person tomorrow. And in those times, I'm not going to say there wasn't, but I wasn't searching for it. I wanted to deal with it my way. And my way was just to lock away the mouse, drink alcohol. I could not sleep unless I drank something. I had to drink liquor every night. My mother would say, every picture you post, you have a cup in your hand.
My God.
I had to always be drinking. And no,
and that was to numb the pain.
Just to numb the pain and so I could have go sleep and not think about all that I've been through, all that I was going through. So I understand when a female like I say, it's hard for true.
Because it is, yes.
It's hard. But what are you going to do? Roll over and die? That don't make sense. You have the opportunity to talk about it. Yes, it will take a while because it took me a while. It took people forcing me. People say, Crystal, you have a story. This is your ministry now. See, God give. And then there's that. You understand? And I had to come to a place where I say, okay, God, even before me go onto the platforms, like we'll be just in the setup, the waiting area, I talk to God, I say, God, please, let me hold back the tears. God, please, let me talk it as it is. I used to have to be doing those rehearsals and I tell myself, say, Crystal, you're not going to cry, you're not going to cry, you're not going to cry. And it's still, when I talk about it, sometimes it is still touching.
Yeah.
Touching because I was young. And whether young or old, I would wish nobody experienced this. But in those ages, I wasn't even searching for the helplines or them helplines that you can contact though. Sorry, that you can contact though for help. But
Right.
there are so many. No, when I'm doing the investigations, there are so many helplines. People really want help. I personally, I'm willing to give up on my time and everything just to talk. Somebody come to me and say, Chris, I need to talk to you about this. I'm there to listen because I didn't have anybody to talk to. So I am going to be a shoulder to lean and ears to hear. I'm going to listen. I'm going to give you the best encouragement or advice that I can give to you. Because, Mark, it still isn't easy. Because even dating now, um, certain things that I would say, brings me back to being married or or certain places I'll go do certain things, it will bring me back, and then my partner now would say, Chris, I don't want to hear about it because you've been through it and you're hurt and I can't stand to see you crying. They're like, yes, my ball it out. You understand? It wasn't you that did this to me, but I can't say I'm completely healed from it, but I'm getting there. And this is why this book was not my memoir. And then I realized that this book was not about my story. You understand? But parts of it, everything was incorporated into this because it is what I went through as well. I'm still writing my story to date because I went back into church just last year. I just gave my life back to God. Oh, sorry, 2021. I gave my life back to God. So this year will be 2 years. So I'm still learning to have faith. And this hope that I have and this hope that I talk about, I'm still learning to be faithful. I'm still building on the trust that God has brought me through it. God will bring somebody else through it. There, you just want you to say, God, come, take control. Come into that situation. Like those who they when they were out on the boat fishing, and the storm came. And God said, trust me? Who do you trust? It's something like that right now. Because if God would have said Crystal write a book, it's like him telling Peter to walk on the water and he's like, but that is impossible. And of course I had said that. But
From broken to redeemed.
the book is out.
And before I ask the question, your book is out. I know that a lot of writers, you can get their books on Amazon, but you have hard copies. Where in Jamaica can we get the books? The book.
Well, for now in Jamaica, if people can reach out to me on Facebook, I'm Crystal Buckley there. And for now, it's just my sister that has some copies in Manchester. But either way, she needs to get it to you, not for express, yada yada yada. It can be arranged, and then it's on Amazon. So those are just the for now.
What about the book, Crystal?
Okay.
So guys, Crystal Buckley from Broken to Redeemed. A powerful story. One that so she's pretty much just writing her story. And she has actually gone on to her second book. We'll hear about that probably in the next testimony. One of the things though, as I listen to you, I think a number of things goes through my mind. However, you mentioned that when you were dating your ex-husband, there were things that you saw. You saw red flags, but you ignored them. Didn't give much attention to it, probably thinking, oh, it's just a phase or it won't get out of control. A number of marriages have persons have faced those things, whether it's from the husband's side or the wife's side, where during courtship you saw certain things, red flags, but you're probably telling yourself, oh, No, it's not going to go there. Or I'm in love. I love this person. I can't afford to not be married. Everybody is seeing us out there and know that we're dating or we're courting or I'm engaged to him and that is my husband, that is my wife. And so I don't want to break this off because it's going to look bad. I'm going to be ashamed. But you would have experienced and realized and can say to others that it's best to be ashamed in the initial stage than to go through the process of being married. And as you say, when you're home, you're balling down the place, but you get up and you brighten up, you dress up and because you have to show up somewhere and you have to put on a face that all is well. And as you say that, I'm wondering, and it's not even a matter of wonder. We know that there are so many persons who are hurting in their marriages. Some of the persons are being abused. Some are not physical abuse. You mentioned also that he tried, and I was going to ask you, but then I heard you said it. He didn't keep you away from your family, but he kept you from going to them alone. So you did not have that free time. You didn't get the freeness of being around your family where you could chat and express yourself. He made sure that he was there. That was his way of controlling what went on. He wanted to tell you how you could dress. You can't wear that. You can't do this. You can't do. And a lot of times, I remember a number of years ago, I saw there was a couple, and when I said to the female, yes, he's a nice person. I think he's ambitious. I ticked off his qualities, but I said to her, but I think he is controlling. And she replied, well, maybe I like them like that.
Wow.
That marriage never lasted because he did control, he did physically abuse, verbally abuse, emotionally abuse, financially abused her. It never lasted. And so sometimes persons on the outside see the red flag, and as your friends and relatives did, and say, Chrissy, you're sure you want to marry this guy? But when we're young and in love, or even when we're old and in love, we believe that, we'll find the ideal person, and we do make a mistake, but it's not the end. Right? So us making mistakes, even to the point of being abused, is not the end. And as you rightly, were able to arise out of this and write a book, write about your life. Not just because you want to write about your life, because we don't really want to invite people in our business like that. It's not like we don't want to everybody in our business and know what's happening, but there are times when things happen to us because it happens. I don't want to say God allow it to happen. It happens. But then out of what happens, God comes in and he pours into us and he pulls us to him and say, hey, daughter, you're still my child. Son, you're still my child. And so out of that, you're able now to pour into others. So you've become, you who didn't used to talk much. Through this, you have now become a public speaker. You're now being invited to speak to people, to share with them that abuse or whatever you're going through is not the end. Look at God. Look at God. Look at God.
I call it voice for the voiceless. Even though I don't have a big voice, it don't even take a big voice, because sometimes we think we need the big things in us.
That's it.
You don't.
That is it. There are times when I sit and I meditate. I think I'm not an overthinker, but I do think a lot. And when I do think, and I'm looking back on life and all the things that happened, and I say to persons, I have gone through so many things. I mean, I have one regret. I have not sat back and said, God, you know, hey, I'm vexed with you because you allowed this to happen to me. God, you know, say, I regret this. No, the only thing I regret about my life is that I did not give the Lord a chance when I was much younger. And then when I even think about that, I said probably I wouldn't have stayed because I had to experience the rough side of the mountain to run to God. You understand? So when you were talking about when you just reached Cayman and your mother left to come back home and you were there alone, when you are alone or by yourself, you realize the need for God. You realize how helpless you are without God. And so it brings us. It's like God say, all right, I get you where I want you. So he reigns us in. And through that, you know, it's bittersweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the experiences were bitter, but what I'm experiencing now is sweet. To God be the glory. And so you as a young lady can stand up and say, hey, look at me. Broken, you know, I have been broken. But as I said earlier, broken crayons can still color.
It's not even a broken, sis. You know what is the highlight for me? Broken, but redeemed.
Amen.
Because to think that God still loved me after all that I went through. To think that God has been there from the get go. Because like I said, what a woman don't come out to them something there alive.
Right.
I've never been in a car accident. I don't have a broken bone.
You went back to him.
I went
You
back.
spent the night with him. Him could have cut your throat.
I don't
But
do
even
anything.
in all of that, God had a plan,
I have a plan.
right? And so you were able to talk him down and say, yeah, man, sign the paper. Let me go. Let me go.
So like I say, it's not even the broken for me, it's the redeemed.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just living, I'm just basking now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can talk about the brokenness now without even feeling broken. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you have the little, and like I said, I don't even have a physical scar.
Right.
But I say, God, how?
Mm-hmm.
Because me never get the licks and the cuts.
Right.
I got them, but them gone. I don't know where them gone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so looking ahead for Crystal, and I heard you mention earlier about a partner. How do you see yourself? How you position yourself now? Because somebody also needs to understand, say. And for me, so let me put it out there. I believe the word of God. I stand on the word of God.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible says that God hates divorce. It's there and it's the word. But I've said to persons, some marriages are designed by Satan himself to cause some people to lose their souls if we're not careful. And so we're not here to laud divorce, but we're here to say, in a situation like that, I didn't want a young lady do. Because I know persons will say, oh, but what? When your life is at risk,
Yep.
when your peace of mind is at risk, oh, but what. And so going forward now, it's not going to be any easy thing. And I can understand that any gentleman who is coming across your path now, him going to go up on the cross and he's going to be tried. Because, I mean, after having gone through that, then you're not going to take a chance because, and hey, there is a second chance. God gives people a second chance. And so I know some, but God gives second chances, and I believe in that. Somebody else might be out there too, Crystal, who is saying, who has gone through what you have gone through, and say, me? Never again.
Yes, I'm going to say that to you. That listen, I had to go back to God and repent about that because I said, look here, we don't want a husband, we don't want no husband, we don't want no marriage.
Done.
And meeting somebody and say the person tick off, when you tick the box, it's just so easy to tick. And you just a tick. Yeah, so but wait, a person you meet, you know, top it all off. He's a man of God. So I had to go back and repent and say, God, I know I had said this, but I'm repenting of it because I know that I was at some point going to give my life back to God, but I never knew when and I never knew how. When I did it, I've had the lonely nights and the lonely days. I may say, yes, God, okay, we need a companionship now. We need a husband now. Understand? So I had to go back and repent for all of that since to be open to feel free to date again. And I had to also have the barriers. I may say, whenever me set it too high, me stress out the man now because I can't go back to where I'm coming from. So I have to have a certain standard. And then at one point, I said, me dash with all of that. However he comes now, this is how I'm talking before I met this person. However he comes once, you know, he is ambitious, he have a job, he have a little look, you know, work with it. I had to, whenever I hear my friends and I talk about this, oh, your list. I said, what list? I have the list. Why? So that I can scare away the man to say, oh, I need you to have a 5-star job. You have to drive on 3 Series Benz. No, because I'm not a material person. From you show me say you can love me, the rest can grow. From we can communicate, the rest can grow. The love is not just see you today, I'm love you. You have to grow in a love because if you want to be with this person for life, you have to grow day by day with the person. Just as see me today and you love me, and tomorrow you don't love me again. How that work? You understand? So when you asking me now how I see myself or going forward, like I said, dating, and so far the boxes are ticking. And the truth is, I know people are going to say, and people have said, and people are saying, but you guys are Christian. What are you guys waiting on to be married? Me, personally, getting married now, this is it. I'm not going in it to say, I want divorce and down the line, divorce. I am not rushing, and that is the truth. This year will be 2 years since we've been dating, and it's hard because we both want the rest of the what makes up a relationship. But we have to understand say we cannot indulge certain way and certain things. But it's because we want to have sex, we are going to go married, and the rest of things them not start out. We're not compromising about this, and we're not agreeing on the side there. But because we are dating and we want to have sex, we are going to go married. No. Are taking our time, and it's something that we have spoken about. He was a lot of nights when I was writing the book, I had to call him to say, how you spell the word here? You can use here, sir. Because even in my book, I had to give shout out to him because he was my listening motivator, listening editor, listening everything. You know, I started to write, I was handwriting this book on folder leaves. So you can imagine, I had a whole stack of folder leaf walking up and down with it. When I reached chapter going to next one. Oh, we have to go back earlier so go remember. It was on folder leaves.
Yeah.
I could take out this page and say, read this, how it sound. You
Mm.
know, like, women know, and I mean, a lot of us go into relationships. I have to go back on this. A lot of us go into relationships without any foundation.
Mm-hmm.
You just know, say, the man look good, the man have money, the man have a nice house, the man have, but one to the communication, one to the fact that will he be there for you when you're sick? Will he be able to do this? Will he be able to listen to you? Will he be able to encourage you? You understand? Those are factors. And he writes music, he does singing, and I was motivational speeches. And we have to be able to can back up each other.
Right.
Because if he cannot, a lot of times I go on platforms like lives and he's there and he will never write a comment. And sometimes I have to laugh and I say, I know you're there. I know you're there. And then he would come up and say, why you load me up? Sometimes I really want you to say something. And he's like, no, I want to listen to you. And then when we're together, I'll come back and I say, you could have said this way. And that is what I want. The person that can correct me, when not the person who control me and tell me, say, I saw it for God. I want somebody that we can be on a level when the pros and the cons of us being together, it match up.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and that's what marriage is about. It's a partnership. It's not you having your way and the next person having their way, but it's a partnership. Hey, I'm thinking of this. What are your thoughts? Right? How you think we should? It's a partnership. And so I emphasize that marriage is beautiful. Marriage can work, right? As long as you're not being abused and that side of it.
Yes.
Once both of you are willing. I know marriage is making heaven. There are no marriages in heaven, right? They're made right here on earth.
And it
feelings, and it's hard and it's rough, but it is work.
Also, being married don't take you to heaven.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
And then to add on where I see myself, I am, like I said, I just started a course in guidance and counseling because I've seen where I don't know what God is doing, but the trajectory is just, and I'm just saying, lead me, Lord, anyway, you lead me, I'll follow. And I have this out. I have another 31 days. Oops, sorry. 31 days of affirmation out. It's not out, it's ready, but I am still focusing on this because this is pretty young. It's about 8 months old. So still focusing on that, and then I'm on to writing my memoir. Take me probably the rest of the year. Yes. I am open to, I just want to be a motivator and an encourager. For this is really what I'm working on. I must reach, I must touch. Somebody listen, somebody must, a young woman must say, Crystal, I heard your story and it motivated me to want to do better. It motivated me to want to come out of this and school. Come out of
change my thought process.
Change your whole mindset. Because there is hope. Whatever you're going through right now. I had to learn the hard way, but whatever you're going through is not a death sentence. And the minute you come out alive, trust me, that is God's way of saying, my child, I was with you, I protected you. No, I must get the glory out of it, the long and short of it. So, like I said, this is my ministry, and I'm using it to just to tell people how awesome God is, because it had to be God.
It had to be.
My own strength failed me. My own strength failed me when I walk into that place trying to buy grandma and son. My own strength failed me when I was on the floor of my bedside bawling until God take these away, because me no want it no more. I want peace. I want joy. I want to be happy again. And He did all of that for me. So imagine Him doing it for me, coming from a place where I tell you, keeping parties and all these things. He can do it for you.
Yes, he can.
And up to date, I have not removed some photos from my Facebook page because I'm not going to come and pretend that listen, we just change overnight. Enough time to me say God, we can't do this, we can't do it. It's hard,
Mm-hmm.
especially being a Christian and trying to date somebody and you know your restrictions. I mean, we know that part. It's
Yeah.
hard. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. So I am and I've thrown in the toys a lot of time. And when we expect God to say, okay, my child, I see that you can manage it. Him throw back, give me and say,
I
no,
guess so.
you're not done yet.
Oh Lord. He has a sense of humor. He really does.
Yeah. So I am not going to come and tell anybody that it is perfect and it was the streets of gold that I walked on to reach here. No.
Mm-mm.
But because I know that it is possible, I can come and I can talk about it.
Yeah. And it is so important for persons out there to understand that redemption is possible. You know, a lot of times we write off our own selves. I mean, people write us off sometimes, but a lot of time, I think the hardest write off is when we write ourselves off because we say, "Me done," right? And we forget that there is redemption. And as you rightly say, the book is not really about the brokenness, but it's really about the redemption. The fact that, yes, this was me, but God stepped in and he threw his towel of love around me and he swaddled me all over again. And I am now redeemed. Crystal, I want to really thank you so much for sharing your story. And, you know, as we prayed earlier before we started, I am trusting God that, you know, this will reach to somebody, to some people, some females, some male, because a lot of times the emphasis are on females, but males are also abused by females. I shouldn't even be whispering. Yes, there are men out there who
Because
are
it's
being
happening.
abused by their female spouses, wives. Yes, verbally,
Physicality?
physically,
In that,
emotionally, and all the alleys. So it's a two-way street, you know. But thank you so much for opening up to us, for making yourself vulnerable, you know, to say, hey, this was where I was, but I am redeemed. I'm no longer that broken girl who couldn't hold it together, didn't know what she was about. I am now redeemed. You know, one of the things that I love about God. So you came to the Lord. Well, you were your gifts brought you to the Lord. And as you rightly say, you know, you were not feeding. And so you, when the injury came about, you walked away. And then you ended up where you did. But God stepped in and you have been redeemed. I wish you all the best. And I am encouraging persons, you're watching this, reach out to me and get a copy of the book From Broken to Redeemed. Share with somebody and tell them to share with somebody else that, hey, here's a story that I think you should listen because I know you've been going through and I want you to understand that there is hope.
very true.
There is hope. Any final thoughts for us before you go?
Um, Pretty much there is hope.
Yeah.
And like you said, I, I don't just want somebody to share because you know down the bottom have the little share button and
Mm-hmm.
yes, share from a place of being your brother's keeper. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
brother's keeper. Share because you know this person is going through. And if you don't have the words, well, let me be the voice for you. I could have been dead.
Yeah.
I could have died from that hit and the hospital trip. I could have died when I went back so many times because we don't know how these men operate. I've even seen up to since the year started in Mandeville an incident where the husband killed the wife and the kill
Right.
himself.
Mm,
Question easy. And the first thing that they find is the first thing that they will use.
that's it.
So if you're in this situation or you know somebody in the situation, don't just run onto them and say, yes, come out, because the man will kill you. That is adding more pressure to them.
Mhm.
That's fear their lives. Talk to them. Help them to get onto the helplines. There are lots of women helplines. There's lots of assistance there. There's too much
Right.
for to be in these situations.
Mm.
Like I said, I'm gonna say it easy, but once you start, you only need to start, and then you'll see how everything will just start flowing. But most importantly, talk to God first.
Right.
In God in our situation, say, God, this is what I'm in, even though He knows, but He wants us to come and confess to Him, and He wants us to come to Him for help. So seek the help from God. Talk to your friend them. Don't just sit down and go and take it. Talk about it. Talk to people. And trust me. And like I said, sis, thank you for having me. And I wish all of your supporters and your listeners, everybody hearing this, all the best. And if you're in that situation, talk to God first.
Ah,
Yes, will be capacity. Thank you for having me, sis.
it
All
was
the
a pleasure. Thank you for taking the time out to share your story with us on Motivations and Memoirs. And guys, remember, do your part in sharing this story with others. And as she said, not just a mere share, but share from a place of being our brother's keeper. What good? And I will see you in the next broadcast.